morning, everyone. This is Janani. I have completed I'm semi-qualified cost accountant, and I'm doing this training and for the corporate trainers. And right now, I'm working as a support consultant in a concern. So now here you're going to see the SAP FI demo. For which many are interested and many's dream job is waiting in this. So first let us start, before going into SAP, we first want to know what is meant by ERP, and then what are the uses of ERP, and why SAP is considered to be a part of important ERP, which is benefiting many of the concerns. And then what are the other ERPs that are available in the market, and why SAP is considered to be the prime in among these ERPs. And then we are going to look into the structure of SAP, means the history of SAP, that when this SAP was founded and by whom, and what are the development stages or growth of SAP. And then we have several modules of SAP, like we have different kind of modules, and we'll be just looking into the different modules of SAP. And then coming to the purpose why we want to learn SAP. Before that, we just want to know what are the roles that we are going to play in the field of SAP. So that will be discussed here. And then coming to the final thing, what is the advantage in SAP when compared with other ERPs will be discussed. And then the training methodology, and then the materials which will be provided by us, and then finally we'll end up with queries. So coming to enterprise resource planning, which is called as ERP. First, let us see what is meant by enterprise. As you all know, even a layman can understand what is meant by enterprise. There's nothing but an organization. So what is meant by organization? Organization is something where a particular activity is carried out depending on so many factors like men, material, machines, and money, which are called as resources. So these four men, material, machines, and money are called 4Ms, which is very, very important for an organization to run successfully. So planning this enterprises resources is called ERP. So putting it very simple to you, it is a business management software that allows an organization to integrate resources to manage or plan the business. So for example, now if you take an organization cannot be built just like that. It has to be built with men. What is men? It is a human resources. Material. So for example, if you take you're a seat manufacturer, you need a raw material like polyol, isocyanate, and then the seat which will be designed using the resin, and so all these are called materials. Then machines. What are machines? Machines which convert this raw material into your finished product. So finally comes the money, which is the primary source, which brings in the men, which brings in the material, and which brings in the machines. So now you can understand what is meant by ERP. So ERP is nothing but organization, men, material, machines, and money, which are known as 4Ms, and the maximum utilization of this above resources will be called as planning. So to put into simple and for your great understanding, ERP is nothing but it is a business management software that allows an organization to integrate resources to manage and plan the business. Okay, so now we'll go further deep into ERP. Okay, so in an organization, you have various departments like finance, HR, purchase, sales, production, and marketing. So let us take finance. What is the goal of finance department? The role of finance department is to reduce the cost and increase your profit. Okay, so the ultimate aim of every organization is to increase your profit, means to make a profit year by year. So the main motive of finance is to reduce your cost and increase your profit. So coming to marketing. In your marketing, what you do, what is your occupation of marketing? To sell your product. For example, let us take again the seat manufacturers. So you manufacture a seat, and seat is called as a finished product. This seat has to reach the end customers. So the ultimate aim of the marketing team is to make the seat to reach them. Okay, so what you do advertising, you do paper advertisement, you conduct exhibitions, you display the seats wherever possible you can advertise. So ultimately, when you take as advertising, the cost is expended, means you spend something to advertise your product. So, but still, what is the aim of the marketing? To sell a product and get a profit to your organization. So, the ultimate aim of marketing is also to sell a product and get a profit, and the ultimate aim of finance is also to make profit. So, the aim of making profit doesn't change between marketing or finance, whereas in finance they reduce the cost and get a profit, whereas in marketing they incur the cost and get a profit. So like this, different type of departments have their own way of increasing the profit. Say for example purchase. Taken for example purchase. So purchase, what they do, their main activity is to buy a raw material and provide that to production. To buy a raw material, they get a quotation. So in quotation, you have the different vendors quote different prices. So it is the purchase who reduce the price, who bargain with the vendors, and then ultimately they give a profit to a finished goods. So ultimate aim of all the organizations in department is to reduce the cost and increase the profit. Okay. So what does this ERP does in organization is that you have to link the finance, purchase, HR, sales, production, and marketing. How? Okay. For example, when a goods come inside the organization, you enter into a book that goods has been arrived. Okay. So when the goods has been arrived, they do make an entry in your system. Okay. So again, coming to finance. So once the goods has been received, they have to pay a vendor. So in finance, they make another entry to make a vendor payment. Okay. So coming to next to cash department. So once the payment is done, payment is updated in the system, they pay the cash to the vendor. Okay. Imagine that all these three activities are in different system. Say for example, your purchase is in some other system, and your finance is in Tally, and your payment system is in some other. So it is very difficult for the organization to link these three systems into one place. And if you say no, we want to do a separate entry into separate departments, then that is also quite difficult. Why? Because it is it incurs the cost of the manpower. So what is our ultimate aim in our previous slide which I discussed? It is a maximum utilization of the above resources. So we cannot have a non-value added activity every time. So what we do, we want to have a link between the marketing and finance, marketing and production, marketing and sales, finance and purchase, HR and purchase. So none of the organization can run with one department, either like marketing but no finance, either with HR, no purchase, nothing like that. So it is a combination of different departments, and this ERP is one which connects each department and help the organization in achieving the prime result, which is to increase the profit and increase the sales. I think this will be clear for you to understand the enterprise resource planning. Okay. Now, so like this ERPs, you have a different types of ERPs. Some of them are Oracle, BAN, and then PeopleSoft, Microsoft Dynamics, etc. See, For Oracle, if you take, it is exclusively for the FI solutions. Maybe it gives, they are very strong in their FI applications. If you take BAN, they are very strong in the means material management. So like that, when you take PeopleSoft, they are very strong in their human resource management. But still, though we have different vendors, why we say SAP is one of the prime vendor of ERP is because SAP is the one which gives equal importance for all the modules and which integrates all the modules, which is very, very, very essential for today's management of any companies or any corporates to decide on their future plans of increasing their business and rapid development of increasing their business. That is the reason why we are moving towards SAP to be implemented in different organizations. Coming to the history of SAP, SAP was founded in the year 1972 by 5 of the IBM employees. Okay, so first they emerged with a product called SAP R1 suite in 1972, and we'll be discussing about the R1 and what is R1 everything. Later in 1980s, they developed a product called SAP R2. Okay, and in 90s they developed SAP R3. Now at present, SAP R1 and R2 is no longer, and we all are working in SAP R3 suite, which was launched. Okay, so now coming, what is meant by SAP R3 suite? Okay, you know what is meant by SAP now. So SAP is one of the powerful ERP which integrates all the resources of the organization to enable the management to decide on their business. Okay. What does this R refers to? Okay. R is real-time data processing. What is meant by real-time data processing? Okay. So you go to your ATM machine. Okay. You withdraw your amount which you require. Okay. And later you can see a kind of receipt which is printed where the balance available in that particular, in your particular account will be shown. Okay. So how does this happen? It is because of the real-time data processing. As soon as you withdraw your money, your account is getting debited and your current balance is shown, which is nothing but called as real-time data processing. This is what happens in SAP also. What is that? Okay. When you do a sales, say since we are now more since this is a FI demo, I think most of you will understand the sales process or purchase process if I explain you. Yes. Okay. So first, when the goods are brought inside, when the raw material is purchased inside the company, what you do, you just enter your that goods have been entered. So let us take for example bike manufacturing company. So what are the raw materials? Say maybe iron rods. Okay, so you bring 1,000 iron rods inside your company. So Here, let us see what is SAP R3 suite. You all know now what is meant by SAP. So SAP is nothing but it is a ERP which connects your entire resources like men, material, machine and money for a better planning and to enable the management to take a high level decisions. So what is meant by R is real-time data processing. Okay, so what is real-time data processing? Say, let us take an example that you go to your ATM machine, you just withdraw your money, and then later you ask for a receipt. Why you ask for a receipt? To know your balance. So you can see what is the balance available after debiting your money which you have taken. Okay, so how does this happen? Have you ever wondered that how does this happen? So you have taken the money and your money gets automatically debited into your account and your balance is shown in the receipt. So this process is called real-time data processing. So it is nothing but the updation of data as soon as you enter into the system. Now same thing applies for an organization, which is very, very essential. Since we are all interested in going into FI, now let us take an example in an organization with FI. Okay, for example, you are a kind of a bike manufacturer. Let us assume that we are running a bike manufacturing organization. Okay, so the raw material which you required is maybe iron rods or aluminium casting, something. But still, now you want to purchase raw materials like screws. Okay, let us take screws. These screws, now you need 1,000 quantity of screws from a particular vendor. Okay, so first step what it happens is your quotation. So in quotation you get quotation from different vendors. It is to like what? It is to get information from different vendors that this price of this screw, say for example, one screw cost you 10 rupees. So one vendor gives, no, I will give one screw for 9 rupees 50 paise. One vendor says I will give one screw for 6 rupees. Okay, so you sit with the management and decide, and finally you decide to go with a vendor who has quoted the price as rupees 6. Okay, so now what you do, you raise a purchase order to that vendor. So what is meant by purchase order? Purchase order is nothing but where you mention the quantity and the amount agreed between you two and the date of delivery, and then the price which he has quoted. Say for example 6. So you tell your vendor that you have to send 1,000 screws at the rate of 6 on this particular date. Say for example 20th of December. Okay, so the vendor will prepare you the screws and he will pack and he will be sending it to you on 20th of December. So these screws, all these screws arrives at your factory gate. So now what is the next step? Now the person who is in charge of the stock, who is in charge of the stores, will enter these 1,000 screws into his account. Say now for example, already you have 50 numbers of screws in your stock already, but still you want additional 1,000 screws. So when these 1,000 screws are entered into the system, automatically your stock account will get increased to 1,050. This 1,000 will automatically get updated. Okay, so now you may raise a question, why you want to increase the stock account and what is that impact? Yes. So how will this affect this? You say as real-time data processing? Yes, because once it gets updated into your system as 1,050, as 1,000 which is entered very new, this 1,000 will get reflected into all your financial statements and your balance sheet or P&L, whatever case may be. Okay, understand? Now, next comes. So as soon as this is done, the goods will be, the invoice will be sent to your finance department for payment. So finance department, what they do, they enter this invoice and they credit their vendor and they debit some kind of inventory account or whatsoever account may be. So in SAP particularly, we have a concept called GRIR, which is a very big topic, and which I will be taking it during the time of session. And if I explain you on that process, then you will get a bit confused now, because it has to be explained along with your accounts payable module. Okay, so now for example, let us say you will credit your vendor and debit your stock. Okay, so now if you credit your vendor, what does this mean? You are liable to pay your vendor 1000 into 6,000. Okay, so you are liable to pay your vendor 6,000 rupees. So you have to show in your balance sheet that you moved to sundry creditors rupees 6,000. Okay, so how this, you cannot again make a separate entry for your financial statement. So whenever you make this invoice payment, when you enter this invoice payment into your system, automatically this financial statements gets updated without doing anything. So you just make one entry on your financial system, financial statements, or the statement which you give to bank, or getting everything updated into the system. This process is called real-time data processing. This real-time, you have to understand the data are processed, or the information is processed for the management to take decision is done on the real time as and when the activity is carried out. There are no separate stages where each and every time they do the same entries again and again. So this is called real-time data processing. So now you know what is meant by SAP and what is meant by R. Okay. So why do they mention is 2, 1 and 3? What does these 3 mean? It is a 3 tiers architecture. So what is 3-tier architecture? So they have a database server, application server, and then the client server. So we'll be looking into first the database server. Okay. What is a database server? It is a prime server. Maybe it is called as a hub for all your application server or your client server. So everything which you perform will go and stored there. That is why it is said that a database server is the one which has the entire business transactions stored. So how are these database servers are managed is by using the database administrators, which is called RDBMS tools, and this selection of RDBMS tools is based on the client budget. This is purely a technical part of SAP, for which we need not worry much on that, because we just want to understand how the structure of SAP is. Like they are into database and an application and the client, how they work. We have so many RDBMS tools like SQL, Oracle, everything, and it is up to the client and the technical team to discuss and then choose which RDBMS tools they are going to use to maintain this database server. Okay, and next comes the application server. The application servers are those which are connected with the database server. So so this is the structure which you can see. See, you have a client server. You have around 6 client servers. These are nothing but the laptops or the systems or a separate PCs which is given to each employees. And all these cannot be connected to one application server because your transaction will get slow. So each of the client server, like combination of 2 or 3 client server is connected with the application server, and you have 3 or 4 or 5 application servers, and all these application servers are connected with the database server. It's quite straightforward that you have a hub called database server, and it distributes to application server, which is more than the database server, like 1 or 2 or 3, and these application servers are again used as a hub for all your client server. So this is the structure of SAP. Okay. SAP, like any other ERPs, they have different modules, but broadly we classify the SAP modules into functional module, technical module, and industry specific module. So first, coming to the functional module, our prime and the foremost and the very important module which is in demand is SAP FI and CO module. FI module is financial accounting and CO is controlling, which we are looking into it. And then then it is HR module, where you maintain your payrolls, and then you maintain your timesheets, and then where you maintain your allowances and other income tax benefits, etc., which is into SAP. And next is material management, which is very important, as how FI is very important. They are nothing but they maintain the MRPs, they maintain the raw material cost, and they where the goods movement are maintained and the stock account is maintained. Everything is done in MO module. And then the production planning module. Production planning module is mainly concerned with availability of raw material, and then how the goods are being manufactured, everything, and contains some stuff like that. And then the SD module, which is where you billing is done, the invoicing is done, the delivery is done, and the sales order is prepared and contains of that. And then the customer relationship management, which is more or less in coordination with SD module. So among all these modules, FICO is considered to be the prime module, because FICO is the place which will decide your profit and which will allow your management to decide on your further business. So FICO always have its own importance in every organization, and to be more correct, this FICO has a very good job market nowadays, and it is very essential to understand the FICO module and then implement in that digital system. Next is your technical module. So any ERP or any case in any system, you need a programming language to be done, and that is called SAP ABAP. ABAP is nothing but Advanced Business Application Programming. And then a basis module, which is maintain the basis admin. And then you have BI module, and then the BPC module, it's nothing but the business planning and consolidation. Like it is more of it deals with more of the finance consolidation, and this module highly is linked with the finance module, because consolidation is nothing but which deals with AS 21, accounting standard 21, that if you have so many companies like you say for example, you have many companies under one hub. Say for example, Reliance. You take Reliance has more companies, like they have textile, they have petroleum, they have flight, everything. So it is mandatory for the government to disclose the consolidated report of all these companies under Reliance Group. So in that case, you can work with this business planning and consolidation module as well. And then the industry specific modules, now you have for air and military services, and then automobile manufacturing, and IS banking for financial industries, and oil and gas for for most of the industries which extract oil and then distribute oil, and then IS utilities for utility industries. These I have taken only the specific modules, and then there are so many modules as well, but I have taken only specific modules to just give you idea on the different modules. That's it. Okay, coming to SAP FI module. Okay, it consists of six topics. First is accounts payable. Okay, so let us just briefly have what is there in accounts payable. So in accounts payable, what is accounts payable? Is nothing but which deals with your purchase, where you get the goods, you pay the vendor, you reconcile your vendor account, and all this involved in accounts payable. So when you want to know about the accounts payable, it is like when the goods come in, you make an entry, and goods receipt note is sent to finance, and based on the goods receipt note, you do your invoice receipt, and goods receipt and invoice receipt is matched, and then the payment is made to the vendor, and when the vendor confirms you the payment and vendor gives you the statement, you have to reconcile along with your books of accounts. So this is done in accounts payable, and SAP has a very specific features in SAP. SAP, like you have a concept called GRIR, which will be discussed in our sessions, and you have a concept called automatic payment run, which you will be discussing in your session. Because these are all not the small topics, it is a very important and as well interesting topic in accounts payable. And coming to accounts receivable, is nothing but You sell your finished products to your end customer. That can either be an import customer or that can either be an export customer. You have to see how to capture tax and then pay them, and then send the goods, and then you have to track the payment. You have to track the payments to be received from the customers. And once you receive the payment from your customers, you have to see whether they paid through cash, they paid through check, or whether they paid through bank transfer, and you have to account that into systems, which is all discussed in the accounts receivable. And coming to asset management, yes, you buy capital goods for your company, and you use it for which is called purchase of assets. And as we all know how the FI is like, you have to calculate the depreciation. Your depreciation can be straight line method or WDV method, or you can use even WDV and straight line combined. So whatever the client requirement is, yes, SAP has addressed and given solutions for all those things, which will be discussed as how to do the configurations, everything. So asset management deals with that. And further, if you want to sell the asset, whether you sell it through profit or loss, everything will be discussed in the asset management. Coming to general ledger, you all know how the GL is very important for any of the organizations or any ERPs or any system as well. They concentrate more on the general ledger account. General ledger account is where how the GL account is maintained for each and every module, like accounts payable or accounts receivable or asset management. You want to have a GL account, yes, right? And the GL account balance, and then how you do the month-end processing for this GL to be closed, and then how you capture this GL account amount into your financial statement. Everything is dealt in the general ledger account, and it is also a big topic which will be discussed in our sessions later. And then coming to the important part is integrations. So FI module is the one for which you need the integration from various departments, and which is very, very important is SD and MM. So that integrations will be taught. So what is mainly concentrated in integrations is that how to link your material management and how to create an interface between your material management and to FI is one integration, which is called integration with MM. And next comes integration with SD, how your cash receivables is connected or interfaced into FI module is integration with SD. And next is your new GL. New GL is a very expected and very demanding, which is in market now. Say for example, you may have nowadays none of the companies are in one place. They have so many places. Say for example, you have a company called A in India, okay, and this company A has got branch called B in UK, C in Singapore, and D in US. Okay, so for the company A, your fiscal year will be April to March. Say in India, for many of the companies have their financial year as April to March. Whereas in UK, you have the fiscal year as Jan to December. In Singapore, you have it as June to July. Okay, so like this, for example, in different countries, you have a different, say for a different fiscal years. So, but still, as per our Indian law, you want to show the expenses in whatever has incurred in different countries in the books of A, which is in India. Okay, so for this purpose, to have a multiple ledger, you have to activate the concept called new GL, which is very quite interesting topic in SAP, and many of the companies are expecting the person to know about the new GL. So we are just concentrating on the new GL to increase our demands in our SAP market. So this will be discussed further in our sessions. So these are some of the more sub modules in FI, which we'll be discussing it elaborately. Okay. So after all this, when you speak on the roles which will be playing after learning SAP, is two. One is end user role and the other one is consultant role. So basically, to understand all these modules, say for example, either the FI accounts payable or accounts receivable or asset management or general ledger, the basic thing you require is you have to understand the concepts of FI, okay, which is very simple. And even if you are not FI person with FI background, say if you are not having any accounting knowledge or something, you have to just get a basic training on the FI, say the journal entries as well, or how the concept work. You have to be yes, you have to know the business process, which is very easy, very easy, and that you can do it. I don't think that will be a very difficult for you, okay, because the SAP is just a system which will tell you what is happening and what is to be done. So so even if you are not a FI person, you can learn SAP FI. So coming to end user role, what will be the end user role is to only to fetch the information. They will not be doing any settings in the system. The settings will be done by some other person. You will just fetch the information. You will not have authorization for IMG settings. So what is meant by IMG settings? We'll be discussing in our class. So end user job is like the final product will be given to you, a logo will be given to you, and you will just enter into that logo and then type the transaction, and then you make the business transaction. So this is a kind of which an accountant or clerk does in many of the organization. This is called end user role. And coming to consultant role is they are the prime responsible for designing the SAP. So mainly what does a consultant do is they sit with the end users, okay, they understand what is business process, because each and every client may vary between the process. Say one company can follow a particular process, the other company may follow different process. So the ultimate aim of the consultant is to meet the requirements of the client. So they want to understand what is what and how it has to be done, and how the settings is to be done into SAP. This is consultant role is one, where you have to build a bridge between your system and your end user, and make the end user to understand the SAP system, and get them trained in the SAP system, and make them and teach them how to use this SAP as a final product, and to increase their profit and business dealings. Okay. So okay, when speaking all about this, so why should we use this SAP? Why, when other softwares are there, or when we have a current system, we have a current efficient system, but still why you want to implement this SAP? Your client will be definitely questioning you on that. In that case, you have to implement SAP, and SAP, why it is getting its popularity in the day-to-day life, and why the demand for SAP consultants or SAP end users are getting increased, is because of these advantages. First one is you have access to common information. Yeah, your information is stored somewhere, and any person in the organization who has the authorization can view that information and take the decision. So, which is very essential for the organization, because in this running world, you cannot wait for because a company cannot wait for a person. It is not a person based. It is like the company keeps running. So when the information is stored, and if any authorized person can retrieve the information and take the decision, which is very essential for a nowadays company. And next one is flexible and adaptable to growth. Yes, SAP is very flexible and it is user friendly. So whenever there is when there is a new amendments into your law, or when there is a new amendments into your business process, or whenever there is a new addition or requirement by your statutory, then this will be done. This can be easily changed into SAP. And elimination of duplicate entries. Yes, you have a check in SAP that a same invoice cannot be entered twice, and same payment cannot be done twice, and you have all those control, which is system oriented. So the people or the end user can rely on the system, since you don't have any duplicate entries. So this will reduce the miscellaneous erroneous fraud and in the company. And then increase visibility of business results across functional boundaries. So when you take the management, from the management point of view, you have the increased visibility of business results. What is business result? So ultimately, whatever is your financial statements, like Say for example your P&L or your balance sheet or your cash flow statement or your bank flow statement or any sort AS21 report or your related party transaction. Okay, anything can be integrated, anything can be analyzed with various reports. Like see, for purchase you have a purchase journal, for sales you have a sales journal, so you can reconcile and you have you have a transparency in the business, which is very essential. And then immediate reflection of financial impacts. This is what we discussed a lot in the real-time data processing. Okay, so these are some of the benefits of SAP FICO. So to consolidate you, I can tell SAP FICO as what is one of the prime hot topic in the market now, where you have a plenty of job opportunities for SAP FI, FIC and CO as well. CO is controlling and FICO as well, and it is like FICO is one which integrates with many other modules which we'll be discussing. And SAP FI has a very good reputation in the market, and the consultants are paid with good sum as well. So this is all about SAP FICO, and there are a lot of things to be discussed when we take the classes, and many things need to be discussed, but these are only the overview of SAP FICO, and I will be covering you each topic on a specific basis, and we'll be doing many changes, and then we'll create a company, we'll just do the transactions, and we'll be doing the modeling sessions as well. So it's FI alone, it takes 30 hours for me to complete. Say for example, 5 hours per week. It can be either 1 hour daily or 2.5 hours at the end of in the weekends. Okay, and then we'll be giving you the configuration documents where everything will be specified, where you can use that for your later. Even when you join as a consultant, you can just refer to that and then do the configurations, which will be very beneficial for you. And then we will provide you we'll collect the interview questions, and then each and end of every topic. Say for example, if you take accounts payable, at the end of accounts payable we'll just discuss the interview questions and then the certification questions, and then we'll discuss on how in real time it is being done, and how to address the interviewer, and what is the expectation as a FI consultant, what will be the expectation from you, and how to deliver that, etc. We can be discussed. Okay, and further for anything like any kind of doubts or clarifications which you face, if you are already an SAP end user or you are already into SAP, then you can ask any real-time functions which you are not able to solve. We definitely try to solve that answers. And this is all about the SAP FICO. If you have any questions, you can just call us or you can email us. Okay, and this is all about SAP FICO, and thank you for the time, and expect a positive feedback. Okay.